Hi everyone, and welcome to Friday and another episode of the Sales Mindset TV show. I'm Chris. I'm Chris.
I got him. 1 year and he's got it wrong.
I'm Chris, and he's Steve.
Correct.
I watched Laurel and Hardy the other day. I think I'm.
That's a great film.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that film.
and now So today we want to pick up on post-call reporting. Yesterday we talked about making sure you got the next steps sorted.
Yeah.
And I think today, the final video of the week, we should be talking about reviewing yourself.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
you know, it's easy to, definitely if you've got a rejection, it's easy to feel bad. Oh, okay, they didn't want my product. But then again, it should be, is there anything I can say differently or do differently? And the same with success. What worked?
Well, it's a great point, and one that maybe is missed quite often in the speed we have of moving to the next call, isn't it? You know, and taking that time to actually reflect on what went well, what would we do differently. Yeah, maybe it's a little bit about, well, when I was asked that question about that segment in our industry, I was hazy and I didn't know. So that's something I'll read up on. I made a note, and that's something now I'll read up on. I think it's a really good point you make, that if within the post-call report you do reflect on your own performance, you can build yourself up as you continue to position yourself as that industry expert and that leading voice that we talk about through the syllabus. So I think you know. So you also don't always have somebody that you can bounce this off, do you? So,
Yeah, you don't, definitely. So once you entered a call, you know, there's no one really to talk to. It's just been you and the other person on the call, and you no longer got them to speak to.
Yeah.
So, in big call centres, you have managers that plug in and listen to your calls.
It would have been recorded.
Yeah, so they can always review it for you. So when you're in a proper call centre environment, you've got that ability. But when you're a small business and it's just you making the calls, you know, you haven't. So it's important to review yourself.
Yeah, so we talked about last week 5 minutes before the call to get yourself calm and centred and ready to make the call. I think the same could be said here. Just take that time after it to jot down the learning, the experience, what went well, what didn't go well, and you know what you would repeat next time. I think it's a really good point you make.
Yeah. So top tip for that.
Yeah, write it down.
Yeah,
do it.
write it down.
Yeah.
Review yourself. Spend 5 minutes after each call or a couple of calls, just to review what's good and bad.
Yeah, and just as and you can start to I talked about how in the sales funnel SpanCop you can start to analyse through the structured steps in the sales phases where you're strong and where you need help. This is a tangible and quantitative way of where maybe the narrative you used or the approach you used is the sticking point in that step in the sales process.
Yep.
So the more I've thought about it, the more I like this as a Friday tip.
Okay, brilliant. So that's all we've got time for today. It is a Friday. It's getting quite late into the evening when we realise that everyone wants to go out and start cold calling. Go out and have fun for the weekend. So we will catch up with you next week. From us two here, have a great weekend, and we look forward to seeing you again.